Greetings YouTube and everyone else out there on the internet. This is Chris McKee with Alamo Music Center. You can find us online at alamomusic.com and in person in beautiful San Antonio, Texas. We're downtown in a historic building just about a block away from the Riverwalk. So come by and see us no matter where you are. If you're here on vacation, we'd love to meet you. We have a comparison for you today of a quintessential American beast of a guitar, and that is the American Stratocaster. So we've already done a review of the new American Professional Series, but just to catch you up if you haven't been aware, Fender showed them off, made the announcement last week at the NAMM show in Anaheim that they are replacing the American Standard Series, which has been in their lineup for over a decade, with the American Professional Series. It introduces some new features and it aligns the guitar with really what it is. It's not simply a made in American guitar, but it is for professional playing. Whether you are a professional or you aspire to be, it is a professional level guitar. Now with that comes some new features which we've gone in depth on, and I'll kind of talk a little bit about today, and most importantly some new pickups. And so the idea today is we want to play these two guitars for you so that you can hear kind of a direct comparison of what the previous Custom Shop Fat 50s pickups from the American Standard Series sound like in comparison to the new Tim Shaw designed American Professional V-Mod pickups. So before we get to the playing, let's talk about some differences. Here is a Olympic white American Standard Series Stratocaster, which we just luckily still happen to have. These have been flying off the shelf, and this is one of the last ones we've got. So if you want a really good deal on American Strat, I've got one for you in a really, really cool color. This one is the American Professional Series, new for 2017. The differences are numerous. So it's still a Stratocaster because, of course, it's still a Stratocaster, right? What this is an evolution of the Stratocaster. It's not a departure from it, and thank God for that, right? So on the new American Professional Series, you have a C-shaped neck, but it's called a deep C. The previous American Standard had a modern C shape. So it's basically the same profile, if you can see that. It's a little bit chunkier on this one, and it's very, very comfortable. Along with that, you have new frets. These are narrow tall or vintage tall frets on the American Professional Series versus medium jumbo. So they're a little bit narrower and taller on the new guitar than they were on the previous series guitar, and they sound great. They feel great. It's perfect for bending. They don't seem uncomfortable. Along with the deeper neck profile, it's very, very comfortable. Same tried and true body shape, of course. We're not going to change that. On the maple neck ones, they're still doing what I love on this one, where the fretboard is glossed, the back of the neck is a satin finish, so it's really fast and it bends very well and feels very comfortable. One of the big differences on these, you've got a bone nut on the American Professional Series now, and following down, we've got the pickups here that are new, which we're going to be listening to, but the bridge is different, and it's about time, to be perfectly honest with you. They have the bridge design's basically the same with the bent steel saddles on the American Professional Series, but the tremolo arm is now a pop-in tremolo arm rather than a screw-in tremolo arm. And that's long overdue, in my opinion. I'm glad Fender's gone to that. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, if you haven't owned a Strat, here's the deal. If you look at this one, there is a silver sticker covering the tremolo arm hole or cavity. The reason for that is inside is a tiny black spring that provides some resistance to your tremolo arm so that it's not flopping all over the place. And those little springs are difficult to keep track of, and if you lose it, well, your tremolo arm's just going to flop all over the place. So it's nice that they have finally gone to a push-in arm on the American Professional Series, because it looks like it always has, it functions like it always has, but you get the benefit of not having it swing all over the place, not having to keep track of that little screw, and we don't have to have a little sticker on it anymore. So I really like that. It's a small change, but in the life of a working musician, it's really worth it. Outside of that, we've got the pickups, and that's what we're going to look at today. Now, the pickups on the previous Custom Shop Fat 50 pickups were basically, as they're described to be, sounding like 50s pickups but fattened up a bit. If you've ever had an opportunity to play a vintage Strat, some of them can sound a little thin, a little weak. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Underpowered pickups really can sound amazing. But in a modern context, a lot of times we want a little bit more girth out of our pickups. We want to drive the amp just a little bit more. So that's what those pickups were for. And kind of going along with that, these new pickups pick up that idea and run with it. They are vintage style. They are a staggered pole piece. They are blending the magnets here with an Alnico 3 and Alnico 5 is my understanding of it. And they're not noiseless. They're still going to hum like a good single coil does. They have a wonderful chime to them, but they're VMod, they're vintage modified pickups. So they still have that vintage idea in mind. They are not a decidedly modern style pickup, but they have some modernity to it where you can crank them and drive the amp. They work really well with pedals. They've got a great tone to them that's kind of all their own character. So to prove that, we're going to put these through their paces so that you can hear the difference. I'm going to start with the American Standard and then go to the American Professional. And what we're going to do is we're going to blend these in each position from position 1 through position 5 so that you can hear the differences between each pickup.